Tim Charron here. I help singers and bands book great gigs and explode your music career. Thank you so much. I'm super stoked about how amazingly the first month of Musician Motivation Month went. It has exploded. It has grown way beyond my expectations. I want to thank y'all for being so excited about this 30 days of free videos. So I've decided to relaunch it and do another full 30 days. Well, that's right, 1 month of free tips, tricks, and techniques on how to book great gigs and explode your music career. You know, a lot of this stuff is coming from your questions, your comments that you're dropping. So make sure you keep dropping the comments, asking questions, letting me know what would help you specifically at this point in your music career. Whether it is how to get out of the bedroom, get out of the house, where you're just, not just, but where you are practicing and rehearsing and you haven't played a gig and you want to get your first gig. Or if it's, you've been playing in a band in bars and you want to book more gigs or bigger and better gigs. Maybe you want to book festival gigs. Maybe you want to open for national acts, or maybe it's, stuff like this. Some of the topics from this past month that people have asked about are things like, how to develop your image, topics about performing, topics about stage presence, topics about how to make more money playing music, or with your music in general. Lots of different, very interesting things. How to get festival gigs, how to go about doing conferences where you showcase, all different stuff. So whatever it is, let me know what what would help you get to the next level. And like I always say, we want to go take baby steps. We want to have a big, grand vision of where we want to be eventually. We want to come up with that vision and develop that vision ourselves and keep that and hold that in our minds, at the same time taking baby steps and putting the work in and taking the steps to build the foundation to go from playing your first gig, playing solo acoustic gigs and duo gigs, up to full band gigs, to bar gigs, then to club gigs, then to touring, then to festivals, fairs, then to opening for national acts, all of that stuff. So what I've decided to do is do a mini series of my biggest mistakes. And a quick reminder, make sure that you subscribe. Extremely important. Subscribe to the podcast. It's all free. The podcast is on the Charron Zone, everywhere you can find podcasts, and this YouTube channel, because I'm building this YouTube channel to help as many people as I possibly can. And the way you can help me build this channel, if you're getting value from these free videos, is to subscribe, hit notifications, that bell up on the right-hand top corner. Hit that bell so you get notifications, and dropping comments and interacting and liking the videos. This helps build the channel. Every single interaction builds the algorithm and helps build the channel. And that's what you can do to help. And that's the payback for all of the free content. Hopefully you're getting a lot of value out of it. And like I said, drop comments asking me to do topics that help you so that you get even more value. So I've decided to do a mini series of my biggest mistakes that I've made so that you can learn from them. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this whole thing and trying to, work on helping up and coming musicians get to the next level is because I wish I had this very thing when I was starting. And I was just talking to somebody today and they said, Tim, nobody's doing what you're doing. Nobody with the resume that I have, is doing what I'm doing and helping people specifically with all of these things. And I wish that I had someone when I was starting to about 12 years ago, and I decided that I wanted to really do this, and I really went for it and wanted to go for it. But, and I was just playing for free and playing for dinner and stuff. But I wish I had someone guiding me and helping me figure out all of these seemingly small things, but they're really important things because it's hard to figure them out yourself. And it takes a lot of trying and failing to figure out what to do and, more importantly, what not to do. And that's what I went through for the past 12 years. So I'm trying to take all of that experience and help you so that you don't have to go through all that bullshit. So my biggest mistakes, we're just going to start with the first one that I'm doing in the series. Is one of my biggest mistakes at the beginning and before I really understood this was not taking the business serious enough. I think we all have this notion, or a lot of musicians, including myself before I figured it out. For a long time, I kind of had this idea that, you're a musician, so you don't have to have responsibility, and, it's all about the art. It's all about the, rock and roll. It's all about the music. And if I'm a good musician, then I don't have to be responsible, and that I will get discovered, and everybody's going to do everything for me. And all of a sudden, I'll get discovered, and I'll have millions of dollars, and I'll just have to show up at the arenas and rock out to 40,000 people, and then cash my checks, take the limo back to the hotel for the party. That's a complete fantasy. It's a great fantasy, though. But the reality is we need to take the music business very seriously, our own music business. We need to take our music very seriously, and the business of the music business very seriously, if that makes any freaking sense. And what I mean by that is everything that you would have to take seriously if you had a brick and mortar business. If you took out a loan for, I don't know, $100,000 to open a restaurant, all the things that you would need to do to have a successful business, it all applies to the music business. And so specifically what I would have taken more seriously is I would have taken the being early. If you're not early, you're late. I would have taken being over-prepared more seriously. I stumbled upon a personal rule of mine after making this mistake many times, is I never, ever try a song that I don't have nailed down live. I never try it out live. Oh, I think I know that song. Or somebody gives you a request and you're like, oh yeah. Let me see if I can figure that out on the spot. You think you're impressing people by being able to hack through something on the spot. But really, most people probably aren't going to know that you're just trying it on the spot, and they're going to hear it. It's going to be kind of half-ass, and they're going to think that you suck. So those things, being over-prepared, always being early. I relatively early in my music career, not early enough. So this is another huge mistake. Taking it seriously meant that for me, I had to quit drinking alcohol when I was at a gig, because I was playing bars 5, 6, 7 nights a week. Everybody wanted to buy me drinks. As if you're a musician, as you know, everybody's going to want to buy you drinks. And as fun as that sounds, number one, it would make me sloppy in my performance. And number two, it would make me look unprofessional if I was buzzed. Number three, it was terrible for my health. Having a couple drinks every night was just terrible for my health. And this is, for me personally, but it just goes back to taking, if you open a restaurant, you're not going to go to the restaurant and manage the restaurant drunk, or at least I hope not. You wouldn't be as effective as if you weren't drinking. So, there's this mystique about being a musician and playing music, and drinking while you're playing music is one of those things. And I'll be the first to admit, I call it music juice. Having a drink and playing music just seems to go hand in hand, and it really is just a perfect marriage. But for me personally, that was one of the things that I had to cut out because it had too many negative effects on my business, and I didn't like that. And I don't mean to harp on like telling you that you shouldn't drink, but I quit drinking for about 5 years, and it was the most productive 5 years of my career, and I attribute that to a lot of my success. So, and taking things seriously, like booking gigs, of course, becoming organized. I am the least organized person that I know, and I have trained myself to figure out a way that I can be organized to maximize my music business and booking gigs and following up. So all of these things I wish that I had done earlier, and I'm so glad that I figured them out, finally figured out all of these things. So I urge you to start taking things much more serious in your music career if you wanted to, and no matter where you are, take it more and more serious so that you can have more and more success, and then it's just more and more fun, because the more success you have in anything, really, the more fun that it makes it. And especially in this game, the bigger shows you're playing, the more fans you have, the more you get your songs heard and your music heard, then the more fun it becomes. So there you go. That's one of my biggest things that one of my biggest mistakes that I made was not taking the music business side serious enough early enough. So make sure you do that, and make sure that you subscribe to the podcast and to the YouTube channel, and download the free guide to booking gigs the easy way at howtobookgigs.com.